I'm John Dennis. I'm running against Nancy Pelosi.
Yeah!
I want to thank Ellen for organizing this today. This is way overdue. San Francisco has been corrupt for ages.
Yes.
Thank you so much for organizing this. This is really well done. You know, this city spends $12 billion per year. That's more than 13 U.S. states. San Francisco spent $4 billion in 2000. Had it gone up with inflation, San Francisco's budget would have only been $7 billion today. Where is the money going? We just got a taste. Anybody notice San Francisco streets are dirty? Has anybody noticed that?
Yeah.
Oh, okay, yeah. Well, who's responsible for that? The Department of Public Works. Who just got arrested and is being investigated by the FBI? Who is in charge of the Department of Public Works? This city is magnificent. It is a postcard to humanity. It is beautiful and brilliant. When I moved here 30 years ago, it was like a dream. And today it's become a nightmare for me and my family as we have to step over needles and waste and have homeless people walking into our houses in the middle of the night. It is time to put a stop to this. The person who's in that office right there, that's London Breed's office, took $5,000 from Mohammed Nuru, has been friends with him for decades. Do you think that's the first and the last $5,000 that she's taken? I'm going to say right now, I want a federal investigation, an independent investigation of San Francisco's finances and San Francisco's spendings. That's our money. It's time that the federal government get involved and find out what's going on inside of City Hall.
Yeah.
What works in San Francisco? We have more billionaires per capita in this city than anywhere on earth, yet tonight, more people will sleep on the streets than in any other city in San Francisco, any other city in America. This is a national and an international disgrace. What's happened in this town will take decades to overcome. Our reputation around the world has been ruined. The city, number one industry, tourism. We have lost medical conventions. We've lost Oracle, which is a Bay Area company, said they couldn't take it anymore. They're taking their business to Las Vegas. But that's not really the real tragedy here. I can walk you 3 blocks right up here, and you'll see a street that looks like it should be in some third world country. We went and cleaned that street a couple of weeks ago. We couldn't even begin to touch it. It is disgusting and despicable what's going on there. This city throws money at problems because there is a thing called the homeless industrial complex that survives and thrives based on the money that this city earns. The city gets $50 million a year from the federal government alone, from federal government alone just for homelessness. And how many people are sleeping on the streets tonight? Twice as much as there were 10 years ago. We Republicans built this city. All the great projects in this town, the Bay Bridge, the Golden Gate Bridge, were built under Republican administrations. It took 3 years and 9 months to build the Golden Gate Bridge. It took 3 years and 9 months to build the Bay Bridge, and it's taking 8 years to clean up Van Ness Avenue. Is something wrong here? Is something wrong?
Yes. Yes.
I want to say something. I want to thank all the candidates who are here today who support anti-corruption. That is something we can all agree on. The people who are running this building, who run this city hall, need to be looked into. We don't need to be fighting against each other when the people outside here are the ones who are actually stealing from us. How's transportation doing? What about the big infrastructure projects? All things that were run and done well under Republicans are all drawn out and we're drained. Our resources are drained through Democrat administrations. The city is corrupt. You know, I used to live in Chicago. When I lived in Chicago, I had a moniker. Its nickname was the city that works. Now, when we lived there, we knew Chicago was corrupt and there was a lot of stuff going on, but at least the buses ran on time. At least the snow got cleaned off the streets. San Francisco is the sister city to Chicago, except this is the city that doesn't work. The city that has the corruption and doesn't even deliver the services that we pay for. It's time for us to rise up and to boot out these people in San Francisco, and I'm calling for it again. I want a federal investigation of San Francisco's finances.
Yes. For 45 years, it's all Democrats.
I want to say, anybody upset about what's happening in San Francisco? Oh yeah?
Yeah.
I just want to point to the building here. Can you point out the Republican in City Hall responsible for any of this? There's not one. Well, I got good news for you. Republican Party isn't just the Republican Party in San Francisco. It's the growing Republican Party in San Francisco. Because people are coming over to us because they see what the Democrats have done to this city and they want change. So be strong and stay involved with the Republican Party, and let's keep fighting and pushing back against City Hall. I want to point out one other thing. It's not just financial corruption that's happening in San Francisco. 2 weeks ago, we stood out here, we set up shop, and we organized a cleanup. People came in from around the Bay Area. They came from as far away as Los Angeles. They came from as far away as Salt Lake City. Mothers from the East Bay came in, suburban moms came in to clean up this city, to send out a message to our Democrat friends. Let's get our act together. We're here to help as Republicans and to do constructive things. What do we get for our efforts? An Antifa protest right over there across from that Civic Center plaza. And what do? They assaulted people and they threatened me for cleaning up this city. This is what we get. And what's despicable about it is that Supervisor Matt Haney, supervisor from District 6, helped to instigate that violent protest and no one has said a word about it. He instigated it in a tweet and then deleted the tweet in an acknowledgement of guilt. I have not had that story covered by one single local media outlet. Are we now running goon squads out of City Hall by Matt Haney? Matt Haney wants to be your next mayor. He's gearing up for it. Is that what we want? Right out of that office, we want goon squads run by Matt Haney out of City Hall? That's not the only corruption that we have here with financial corruption. It's that too, and it's got to be called out. And I'm calling out on the media. You know, we look at our reporters as these intrepid, brave reporters who will stand up. Are you just cashing your checks? Or are you going to go do your job and look into this guy and what he did last week? People were assaulted. I'm a candidate for federal office. I'm the chairman of the San Francisco Republican Party, and I was threatened, and no one is talking about it, and this guy instigated it. Where is the media? Anybody in the media, please come talk to me. I'm right here. The only people who allowed me to talk about it were Fox Business News. Anyway, I want to thank you all for coming. This is an issue that we all should be, align behind. The truth is, when I saw one of my opponents here a few minutes ago, a progressive Democrat, I thought, wow, he's going to join us in opposing corruption. But apparently he had other things on his mind. So anyway, I want to thank you all for coming. You people care about this city, this magnificent monument to humanity, San Francisco, that we are not going to stop fighting for, and we're going to turn around and change. Thank you so much for coming.
Thank you. John Dennis for Congress. If you're tired of Nancy Pelosi,